channel. Thanks for tuning in as always. Thanks to all my existing subscribers and thanks to all the new subscribers. And welcome to another instalment of Rush Hour Ramble or Midweek Waffle. Haven't decided on a final name yet. Anyway, today going to talk about Meister coilovers, and essentially I've had mine on the car for about a year now, so it's a good time to do an update. And I think I promised when I did a video last year talking about my decision process, the fact that I got with Meister and I said I'd do an update after 12 months or year, 16 to 18,000 miles, whatever. I think I've done 16 to 18,000 miles, and I think I've had it on approximately a year. Anyway, very quick rundown on Meister why I chose them. Essentially, one of my previous mechanics had said that my rear shocks were getting a bit lazy and a bit sort of bouncy on the back, and whilst the ride was okay, they were just hard. They handled all right, but they were a bit bobbly, so there wasn't a huge amount of damping, I would say. Anyway, so I'd read some reviews of Meister and I'd seen some favourable reviews, and I think I've just got the name in my head. A few people had said to me, oh, you've got to get Tane or Tane, I believe. If it's a JDM car, they're the ones, they're made for Foresters. Nothing I'd seen pointed me in the direction of having them specifically, and a lot of people had said Pedders were good. And I'd seen mixed reviews about a myriad of different solutions. Anyway, Meisters, I think because they're made quite locally to me, not a million miles, well in Essex I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, and the price point was about right, about 900 quid, £1,000 set for. And whilst they don't do them specifically for the Forester platform, they do say, after doing a bit of research, that the Impreza ones fit just fine and dandy. Anyway, I'd found a very, very interesting rundown that someone had done. I may be scooping it, I think I put the link on my original video I'd made about Meister Anyway, and they had said, and this was, again, tick the box for me, made locally, great, made in the UK, great. Also, you could achieve factory ride height, great. I didn't want to lower mine enormously, but do like the idea of it being adjustable. And also you could achieve, because they had 32 settings from soft to hard, you could achieve OEM comparable stiffness. Anyway, so I went for them, and as I say, they went on last year, and of course the first, for me, I didn't want to spoil the handling characteristics of the car, the ride characteristics of the car, and certainly to a lesser degree the future saleability of the car. And as I say, I didn't want to slam it. Anyway, so my mechanic went through a process of getting it to, I think I said to him, we can go 10 mil lower, 10 or 20 mil lower than standard, like stealthy look, but not mad. Anyway, as I say, I've been through all this before in a previous video about them, and I am chuffed with them, absolutely chuffed with them. You have to remember that I have done white line 22mm heavy duty rear anti-roll bar. I have white line ARB drop links all round. I also have, at the same time as the Meisters were fitted, I had the roll centre correction kit put on, and I have front and rear upper mounted white line strut braces. So overall she's got a few bits of stiffening going on. Anyway, so the first thing I noticed about Meister, I think I told my mechanic to set them 10 clicks from the softest setting. Anyway, they ignored me on that and put them around about the middle. Anyway, so when I first picked it up, it felt pretty hard, I must say, and it did concern me a little bit. But I then went through a process of going 2 clicks harder on the front, 2 clicks harder on the back, and then 4 clicks softer on the back, and 2 clicks softer on the front. And in the end, I tried to memorise where I thought I was roughly, but bearing in mind the mechanic had ignored my instructions and he'd put them in the middle, what he thought was the middle. How accurately he counted the clicks, no one will ever know. So I've decided one day I would just put them all the way to soft, all the way round, and then go 10 clicks up. So I went 10 clicks from soft up, and yeah, it's like OEM suspension, but there is much more dampening happening, much more damping. So rather than just feeling like you're, I always do this, front, back, instead of just bobbling over the road and you continually feeling like you're hitting potholes or bumps and undulations in the road hard, instead there is some noticeable softening there and some dampening there, which is very, very nice. And the other thing that the Meister does wonderfully, even though it feels slightly softer and better dampened than standard, when you buzz it into a bend, there's little to no body roll. Just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I had at one point wondered if there was just ever so slightly more pronounced sound when you hit a pothole. Now, having the car was in for about 3 weeks to a month, having some work done about 6 weeks ago, and I had a Ford Fiesta, and I've got to say, in all honesty, the roads are so bad now. The old Ford Fiesta I had that was very springy, the suspension feedback or the sound you'd get from massive potholes is kind of unavoidable, because some of the holes, you know, your whole wheel fits into, so I think I was being unfair. Anyway, so yeah, I'm happy to say totally and utterly comparable with OEM. I've had the ride height adjusted once, because after about a month of the initial setting, I felt it did drop. I could see my mud flaps were starting to err towards sitting quite close to the floor, so I thought I just want it up a little bit, just so it looks as close to the original factory ride height as possible. And I have since, if this is of any interest, I have since also put on, instead of, I just had all new tyres, and instead of 225 45 18s, I had 235 45 18s. So the same profile, a fraction wider, they fit fine, there's no rubbing, scrubbing, fine on full lock either way. Fantastic, they're fantastic. So it's a good sort of combo there. They fit, the radius of the wheel fits quite nice. I like it to be equidistant with the wheel arch. Rear, easily achievable. Front, because the arches are slightly rectangular, it needs to come down a bit just to make it look like it's sitting equidistant, and I wanted the lower skirts just to sit parallel with the ground. Just gives you that nice sort of stealthy look. Anyway, so as I say, ride height great, cabin noise great, adjustability great, durability seems good. As I say, I've had them a year, they've done 16 to 18,000 miles. I do have coilover covers all round, and whilst we are starting to experience an unusually hot period, I will shortly remove the coilover covers all round, and I'll post up a video just to show how they survived. I used I can't remember the name of it. But I had to put one of those rust inhibitor type products, spray, that you apply to the bare paint, like a virgin paint, no products on it, and it makes a chemical bond apparently, and is highly rated for preventing corrosion. So I had that on all the bodies, and then I'd greased all the adjusters and the nuts, etc. Then put on the coilover covers, and they've been on since its last pre-winter service, or end of autumn last year. So as I say, I'll get the covers off. I've got a new set ready for this autumn stroke going into winter. So I will put the coilover covers on again, but as I say, I will post up a video or make a video just to show how well they performed. And that's it for this one. That is it. So, you know, I don't like to reiterate things over and over and over again, but I probably will. So, comfort, tick. Handling, massive tick. Adjustability, tick. Fitment, tick. Price, tick. Customer support, tick. Someone else on the forum did ask me, would I recommend them? And I did say I do. We talk occasionally outside of YouTube. He also was pleased. So, yeah, can't go wrong. Highly recommended. Anyway, as I say, that's it. It's supposed to be 5 or 10 minutes. It's probably slightly, I reckon we're erring on the 10-minute vibe. So, thanks for tuning in as always. Thank you again for all the support. If you're enjoying the content, please consider a like and subscribe and smash that bell button so you get notifications when I post up new content. And I will see you at the weekend, because what are we doing? I've got some built Hamber Deox C rust removing granules and a few little bits and bobs on the Forester under the bonnet around the engine bay that I'd like to do mild restoration on rather than just buying new. So I thought, do you know what? A friend of mine recommended the Deox C granules, so I'm going to make a little video of that at the weekend and also get out and play with the new Fat Gecko triple mount and get some exhaust footage. Plus my cameraman's here this weekend. So it's all going on. Camcorder, GoPro 3, GoPro 10, iPhone 12 Pro Plus, Gecko mount, sucker mount, which is currently being used by the GoPro, and I might even bust out the drone. Weather's perfect on Saturday, so let's try and get some nice footage, and it's going to be pure Foz, not so much chat, Foz noise, Foz driving, Foz going. Alright, thanks for tuning in as always. Take care, bye bye, all the best.